All right, here goes. What the fuck is going on, everybody? Welcome to We Don't Know Sports. This is We Don't Know Network's premier sports show. I'm your host and captain, Ethan Ragsdale, and of course with me always is my co-captain, Jacob Wolf.
The A on my chest. Let's go.
You already know. And with us this week, who's a regular on our other shows, Brian Davis.
Requested to not be mentioned too early in this show for some reason.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, just throw us in later, whatever.
Well, I just thought maybe you'd get through the whole rigmarole before you say, hey, and we have a guest. But hey.
No, I'll interject him.
To ride.
We got priorities. Every week, we take on the wild world of sports with our particular spin of idiocy. We're bringing you all the scores, all the news, all the predictions, and our little twist on fantasy.
And if you like this show and want to hear more content, please head on over to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and listen to the rest of the shows on the We Don't Know Network. You can even hit us up on social media. We are on Instagram and Twitter at WDK_network.
We're just going to keep going with that, dude.
Wow.
It's always fucking underscore. You say underscore. What the fuck is an underscore? It's underscore.
You say it every time.
All right.
Every time. And he corrects himself wrongly.
I'm not an old British fucking fogey. I don't have a squaw.
Underscore.
Okay.
It's a score.
I just got to do my Trump impersonation whenever I say it, I think. That's
Okay, anyways, we'll never do that again.
WDK_network. So go ahead, hop over there, ask us questions, reach out to us. We love to talk to you guys. And, yeah, take it away, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, this episode is brought to you by We Don't Know Network's YouTube page. We'll talk about that later on at halftime. So, like how I always am, we have a structure. We've gotten more structured as we've gone on. We like to do it like a game. The creator of We Don't Know Network, Brian, helped us out with that. We're going to start with the first quarter. We're going to have ultimately 4 quarters. Today's going to be a little bit quicker. We're only going to do like a hockey show today, so we're going to have 3 quarters with us. Three periods with a halftime after second period rather. So for the first one, we're just going to do a little scoreboard, a little rundown, scores, outcomes, events recently happened, predictions for what we think is going to happen in the future. We're going to hit NBA first. We're going to go to some soccer. We're going to hit, really, it's just Champions League. It's real quick. And then we're going to hit NHL, which is now. We're going to talk about the first round of playoffs that occurred within the last few days. So as the NBA regular season is wrapping up, we have the finals. The playoffs about to start. East is already set for the playoffs. But before we get to that, we'll talk about the scores that recently happened. Some of these games didn't really matter, but games were played last night. Pacers beat the Rockets 108-104. Raptors beat the Sixers 125-121. And my Heat lost to the Thunder 116-115. We were up by 20 points. It's the second time we've done that in the last 2 weeks. But honestly, that game does not matter to us at all. And it mattered to the Thunder as far as seeding goes. But if we won or lost, it wouldn't affect our seeding. Clippers beat the Nuggets 124-111. And that was as of yesterday. So the playoffs that we're talking about, Jacob, do you want to run us down that list, or do you want me to do that? How do you want to do this?
Oh, I got the NHL playoffs pull up right now. So
okay, cool.
Had NBA already. So
I do. No. So with the NBA playoffs, let me pull up the exact list. I'm going to go off what I know off the top of my head. No, you're good. So I know the 4 and 5 seed play each other, which is the Heat and the Pacers. They play 5 and 6. Bucks and Magic play each other, which is 1 and 8 seed. Raptors are this 2 seed. They play the Nets, which is the 7 seed. Celtics are the 3rd seed. They play the 6 seed, if I said that correctly, the Sixers. And then 4 and 5, like I said, Heat and Pacers. The only playoffs that are set out of the West are the Clippers and the Mavericks, which I believe is 2 and 7. Thunders and the Rockets, and then the Nuggets and Jazz. We're not entirely sure still how it's going to shake out in the NBA. So how as far
are
as...
the Lakers going to play, who do you think, the Blazers probably?
That's what it's looking like right now. So this is what I say. Grizzlies are in the 8 seed right now. So if the playoffs were to end today, it would be the Grizzlies. But it doesn't. And if Portland wins one more game, they both have the same record, right? They're 34 and 39. However, Grizzlies win the tiebreaker right now. But I think it's going to be Portland. And that's shitty for LeBron. I know he'd rather play the Grizzlies. In their last 10 games, the Grizzlies are 3 and 7. Portland 6 and 4.
I was going to ask you, Ethan, as a fellow Laker admire.
Yeah, they're
I'm
my
a
second
fan.
favorite team. They're my West
I'm a
Conference
fan.
team.
Yeah, they're my team. I'm a Laker fan. I know
Yeah.
you're an admirer of the Lakers, though.
Sure.
How are you feeling about their performance in this bubble? Because they really locked that 1 seed down and was like,
And they went home.
Fuck it.
Yeah, they dipped.
Fuck
They dipped after they locked it, and that's fine. Why not? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, people are like,
they're switching up rotations too. They're kind of trying to figure out how they're going to play in the playoffs
yeah.
as well.
And they're 4-6 in the last 10, but the record
Yeah.
at the end of the day doesn't fucking matter. They're first seed. They can't do anything else. So say they have a 52-19 record. So, okay, say they had a 60 and whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. They're first seed regardless. It's the predecessors.
Even think it matters. It doesn't matter if they even play the Blazers in that first round. Once LeBron hits 0 dark 30 mode,
yeah,
he is going to be unstoppable. And
no, I mean they're clearly the favorites to win.
Yeah, and now he's got somebody like AD who can also hit that 0 dark 30 mode and just completely fucking dominate. I just don't think it's good for anybody on that western side of the board, except for Houston. Houston's got a legitimate fighting chance, but and they could beat the Lakers. I believe that, but god damn. Houston better hopes they don't. I mean,
I don't agree there. That's just me. I don't agree there. I don't think Houston can hold a candle to what the Lakers have right now. Full roster, I don't see it. I mean, I know they got Westbrook, and of course they have Harden, and they have decent players off the bench. I just don't. They're not as good as the Lakers.
They can unexpectedly go off on them.
I mean, they're 5-5 in the bubble. Like,
I think they'll steal a couple games. I mean,
yeah. The only team I'm worried about in the NBA, not in the West Conference, in the NBA for the Lakers or the Clippers. That's it. If the Clippers,
Kawhi has not been Kawhi in the bubble. Like, there's something going wrong. There's something going on with him. That team doesn't look good right now. They just don't look good.
Healthy though, they're scary. I mean, Lou Will, Pat Bev, Kawhi, just Paul George. I mean, people talk shit about Paul George all they want. That's scary. I mean
Paul George is
roster to roster.
Balling, but yeah.
What I want to see more than anything, I want to see Portland make it, and I don't know how. I don't have the algorithm right in my head. I don't know if they can see the Clippers at any point, unless it's the Eastern Conference Finals and some of the Lakers are out.
They're a half game back, correct? Portland?
Correct. No. They're tied. They're losing the tiebreaker.
Oh, because they won last night.
Yeah, they're 34-39. So the 3 teams are 34-39. Actually, holy shit! Grizzlies, Trailblazers, and Suns. However, the Suns have like a 12% chance to make it, and I think Portland has like a little bit less than 50 to make
Suns
it.
Suns are 7
balling.
So balling out the fucking gym. So.
Yeah, and they're 9-1 in their last 10, which is insane.
Yeah,
they have the best record in the last 10 games. And
who do you start? If you're the Lakers, who do you start? Who's your 5?
Let me look.
We'll say all healthy because Rondo could possibly be back.
Yeah, because I don't want to say off the top of my head right now and then just not be as perfect as I wanted it to be.
You got Bron, AD. This is who I would start.
Okay.
Bron, AD, Kuz.
Yeah, I'm saying Kuzma's hot right now.
Rondo.
Yeah.
And then it's really just that shooting guard. Who do you put there? I mean, you have Deion Waiters.
Danny Green?
You got JR, you got Danny Green.
I'm a Tar Heel, and I'm always a homer. Danny Green has his spots. I mean, he has his streaks. I wouldn't mind putting Danny Green there. But my 5 is LeBron, Green, Kuzma, AD, McGee, I guess. Center's whatever. McGee or Dwight Howard.
You got to sit. Well, I'm putting AD in that center spot. And then LeBron being more of a power forward.
Okay, fair.
He's also going to be the guard. He's going.
Okay, because you have Rondo in, and I didn't. I had LeBron in that position. Yeah, I love Rondo. I'm a Rondo fan. I mean, Quinn Cook, I don't want him there. I mean, Caruso,
he's been balling though. He's been balling.
Yeah, he's been playing better. Yeah, Caruso, I wouldn't mind. I love Caruso. I'm a Caruso fan.
But he's not a starter. Let Caruso be 6 man.
Exactly. That was my thought process as well. He's a 6 man. He's just not as strong.
Okay, sorry, I got a little bit off on the Lakers.
No, you're good. That's what the first quarter's about. The first quarter, we have our predictions for upcoming major events, and that's what they're for. And that's what we have. I mean,
I got the next 2 predictions here with NHL and UEFA. So I'll be
good. Before we hit to that, let's just finish our predictions for first quarter, and then we'll move on. So what we see coming out of the West, let's just go around real quick. Who do you say? Who do you want? Those 2 things, and then we'll move to the East. What do you guys think? Brian, I kind of know, but let's just reiterate.
Yeah, I mean,
is it same want and think?
Yeah, Lakers are my squad. I mean, I've been down through the last 10 years of just travesty.
Sure.
I saw the end of one of the greatest basketball players to ever grace the court, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Mamba.
Third best of all time.
The sad ending of his career, which should have been so much better. But yeah, I'm riding with my Lakers. Out of the East, fuck the Bucks. I guess who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I see it top four, and that's it. I don't.
Easy picks. I mean, like the Bucks are definitely the easy pick out of the East. I mean, I'm gonna go with Boston.
I mean, who else are you gonna get? Brooklyn? Is Kyrie gonna actually ball at some point?
No,
play basketball?
no. I mean, Raptors actually Raptors have a chance. They're 9-1 in their last 10. You know, they have lost one in the bubble, I think.
Oh wait, is Kyrie even playing in the bubble? He's not.
That was no, he's not. He's not. You're good. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I've been paying really attention to the Heat, but I got to catch up on my other guys. Boston, Toronto, I'm scared of, dude. I don't want to play them.
I'm still calling Boston. I'm still going with my original.
That's a fine pick, bro. That's a fine pick. They're 6-4 in their last 10. That's fine.
Yeah, they don't have to be perfect right now, but I mean, they got the talent, and definitely, of course, the Lakers. I'd like to see Portland do something, but you know,
Boston better hope they don't see LA in the final. Jesus.
Dude, yeah, it's going to be a sweep.
That matchup, just because I want that, you know. Classic,
bring the brooms out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to see that, but
yeah, I
think LA sweeps them if that's what it comes down to.
What I think right now, from what I've seen, what I think is going to happen. I'll go East first because that's the more difficult one. The Raptors, I think they're the one who's going to come out. Fred VanVleet's playing out of his mind. Pascal Siakam is the most underrated name in the NBA. Very good depth chart. They're just really good all around. I want the Heat, of course. I'll say this. I'll make my peace. We have played the Bucks 3 times this year, and I really wish I could say we swept them. We beat them twice. We lost our last game. We were up by 25 fucking points on them. 25 points, and we lost by 10. It just showed how we are. We didn't have our guys.
Giannis will turn it on when he needs to.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think the Raptors are better than Bucks right now in the bubble. I think the Raptors will beat the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Final. It hurts me to say that because I want a Heat-Laker final. That's what I want. And if the Lakers beat us, I'd be fine. I love LeBron. I wouldn't be that upset. I would have bragging rights. The Heat made it to the final, whatever. You know, but going to the West Conference or move off the NBA, what I want and what I think is the same. I don't think the Lakers are going to lose. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be clear shot. I think they're going to have issues, but if I'm flipping a coin, they're 50% and all the other contenders are that other 50. They share that 50, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think the Lakers
stay healthy. They'll be fine though.
I'm really not worried about anybody. It's so weird. It's switched now. The East has become that conference, and the West is kind of. I mean, Denver, but they're so hit or miss, dude. And
it's because you have arguably the best player to ever play the game in the West now. That's what he does. That is the argument on why he is the greatest player. Look at what he does to the league. Look at what he does to the teams. Look at what he does to the conferences he goes to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, these teams don't have a chance. Utah, they're not a playoff team. Dallas Mavericks, they have Luka. Luka Doncic is the only reason. It's just like the Luka-LeBron argument, and Luka is nowhere near on LeBron's level. So he's only carrying his team so far, and that's a first-round exit. IMO. Houston, you see something different than I do. They're first round L. Russell Westbrook might not even play. I know he's
which I didn't think about when I said that.
Yeah, I know you didn't because I just got that news. It just came back in my head. I got it earlier today. He's out first game guaranteed. But yeah, I don't really see a threat. It's Lakers in the finals, fellas. That's what I'm calling it. It's going to be Bucks or Raptors out of the East, most likely. Celtics or Heat are the only other options, really. I'm just saying Heat because I'm a Heat fan. No one else is going to say Heat. They're saying Bucks, Raptors, Celtics. That's their trifecta. I'm not delirious. That's just what's coming off my head. But yeah, we spent some time on NBA. Thank you guys for listening to that part of the first quarter. We're still in the first quarter. We're going to move on as quickly as can. Jacob, it's up to you, my guy. What do you want to hit on? You want to go with Champions League or you want to hit on NHL?
Let me just run down the NHL real quick because Champions League has only got a couple.
Flying V. Right.
So speaking
Brian's favorite.
We're going with the Flyers first. Philly is up on Montreal 1-0 in the series. They won the first.
Are the Sharks in the playoffs?
They are not.
Then I don't care about it either.
Tampa Bay is currently tied with Columbus. They had a really big 5 overtime game.
Crazy.
Ago. If you watch that, it was fucking wild. But they
you
just
would think I would be a Columbus fan.
Blue Jackets won that one.
Dude, if I were you, Brian, I would be invested in the Columbus Blue Jackets. I love underdogs. The Lightning were like 10.
Jacob, please Please educate Ethan on why I'm a Sharks fan.
Oh, just because you like the logo.
I like the logo. I said, Jacob, I'm going to get into hockey.
Their color scheme is tight.
I said, Jacob, I'm going to get into hockey. I'm going to pick a cool logo. Pick the Sharks, and then they went to the NHL Finals that year.
And lost to Pittsburgh, though. But do yourself a favor. Look at the new Seattle Kraken.
That color scheme is tight.
I put it in the group chat. And I said,
you did.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
The what's cool about the Blue Jackets is, they're tied 1-1. That's right. You did run that off. Last year, Lightning were 10-1 favorites to win the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they got swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets, who barely made it playoffs. Fucking crazy. No one expected that. It ruined my bracket. I had Lightning losing to the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup, which obviously didn't happen. But absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Semifinals.
No, I'm talking about in my bracket last year. I predicted.
You said Tampa. I was still thinking San Jose. Sorry.
No, I predicted that the Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights would play each other, but none of that happened. But yeah, the Hurricanes fucking lost that overtime goal to Boston.
Yeah, that was
other night.
They're currently down 1-0 in the series. They're playing right now.
Oh yeah, they started at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock.
One
New
more
York
fun
Islanders
fact.
took a 1-0 lead over the Washington Capitals as well. That's a good one. Vegas Golden Knights are up 1-0 over Chicago in the series.
Okay.
Colorado currently up over Arizona 1-0 in the series. I think Colorado's going to run away with that. I think they're going to run away with the entire playoffs, actually. Calgary is currently up 1-0 on Dallas. Vancouver 1-0 over St. Louis. And honestly, I think it's going to come down to Boston versus Colorado, and I think Colorado is going to end up.
Don't say that, dude. Boston always just has some bit of relevancy, and they sucked this year overall.
Six, though, team, so like they got that name recognition, they got the fan base constantly going for them. It's a, the way the season ended. With basketball, it's easy to get people to come back and watch, right? Soccer, easy to get people to come back and watch, especially internationally. Hockey, not as big. I think that they're probably feeding off a little bit more energy in Boston than they would be in Carolina. I mean, I love Carolina,
hockey should do? You know what they should do to get more fans?
What's that?
Get more blacks.
They're working on it.
They're trying.
They're getting there. Okay.
Black people.
Every team has one now, I think.
And I'll say this: this doesn't have to be a political show, but it's very systemic. Because you think about hockey is not a money-friendly sport, and unfortunately,
it's like swimming. It's like the stereotype that black people can't swim isn't. It's not real. It's black people aren't around pools. We aren't in the neighborhoods with we're not in rich neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
We don't have access.
That's why it was so big.
So it's like hockey and lacrosse.
100%.
They're expensive sports.
Yeah, it's just systemic racism where it's put in. It's just about the structure and how it's built. It's not accessible to people of color, and that's what's shitty.
Exactly. But now it's lacrosse. I think is the one that's becoming the white kid sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, lacrosse. Yeah.
And they haven't and I live in a nice city, and my school has lacrosse. It's a very, very nice city that I live in, and where I'm from, poor places is no fucking lacrosse.
Yeah. So just moving right along, just to get to UEFA Champions League, because I'm the only one that watches hockey, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But we got through the first 2 games of the second round yesterday or the day before. So PSG took down Atalanta from Italy, and Atletico fell to Leipzig. So those two will be playing each other next week. Then we also have coming up tomorrow, Barcelona, as I should say, playing against Bayern Munich at 3 o'clock. And then Saturday, I know Ethan's excited, Man City is playing Lyon.
And out of every team left, that would be the team that I wanted.
Because that part of the bracket is just so fucking heavy. So whoever wins that Man City Lyon game is going to get their ass kicked, I think, if it's Bayern Munich. If Barca somehow pulls it out, I think the winner of that game moves on. And I think whoever wins Leipzig versus PSG is just fucked regardless.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on that really quickly. Like Jacob did the rundown, just for our listeners. This year's a lot different. Usually we're in the quarterfinals now. After that is semi, and after that is final. The round of 16 completed on August 8th, and we did briefly touch on that prior. But however, usually play 2 legs, 1 home game, 1 away game. It is not that case anymore, and it's not too controversial. It's due to the pandemic. It's just one game apiece, and there's no home goals, no away goals because it's a mutual ground. But yeah, as of yesterday, I just want to talk about the game really briefly before we move on. PSG scored 2 goals after the 90th minute. They were down 1-0 to Atalanta, and the 90th minute, And
really fucking exciting.
yeah, absolutely. And people say soccer's not exciting. It was insane. They scored in 90 minutes and the 93rd minute.
But yeah.
Yeah, I watched it while at work. It was absolutely fascinating. It was really awesome to watch. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna butcher these names, but Mario Pasalic out of Atalanta scored in the 26th minute. Right, so the whole game they were winning 1-0. Come the 90th minute, Marquinhos scored in the 90th minute, and then Choupo Moting scored in the 93rd minute, which is absolutely insane. We were expected extra time, then possibly a PK shootout. But PSG said, fuck that. They scored twice in extra time. Absolutely insane. They're the better team. They should have won anyway. Then, like Jacob said, RB Leipzig beat Atletico, which was a shocker, 2-1. I didn't expect that. No, not at all. Not at all. And then I know
the Red Bulls team to really make it that far.
Right.
Like nothing against them. It's just like it's the Red Bulls team.
Yeah, they're not going to put much time into it. And so we have just two set right now. We have Leipzig and Paris facing each other, and then like Jacob said, Man City and Lyon faces the winner.
Going to handle Lyon pretty handedly.
I hope so, man. I'm calling a 3-0 to match pretty much. That's what my bet.
Bayern's going to fuck up Barcelona as well. We'll see.
I really hope so. That's my goal. I'd rather play.
Those are the right teams to move forward.
Yeah.
But again, I think Bayern, they're just. I mean, if anyone's going to take them down, it should be Man City. But Bayern, I think, is just a 90 to Man City's 85. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I agree.
Over just real quick over in Europa, just so everyone knows, my Wolves lost on Tuesday, 1-0 to Sevilla. So from here on out, fuck Europa League. It's basically Man United versus Sevilla, and then Inter Milan and Shakhtar. So we're gonna get that Man U Inter final, I think, coming up next Friday. So if we get that, we'll see. Maybe we can do something special for that. But the UEFA finals, I would definitely, would like to get a live stream going.
Yeah, we're most likely going to orchestrate that.
Yeah. We've been trying to do this for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna get it happen before UEFA leagues.
Yes.
And Brian is trying to interject. He's not going to be with us. We fucking know that. That's what he's trying to say.
Fuck about any of this.
Anyway,
no one cares you're not there.
Just to finish us out for Champions League. So the semifinals take place Tuesday, August 18th. RB Leipzig, PSG, and then Wednesday, August 19th, the next day, the quarterfinal. And then the week after is August 23rd, and that is it. No 2-game process, 1 game and done. So we have 2 more games, quarterfinals, then 2 games in semifinals, and obviously 1 game in the finals. And hopefully we will be able to live stream for you guys one of those. And I think before we move on to our quarter 2 and quarter 3 hybrid that we're going to have here, any more rundowns you guys want to do? We covered all the sports that we have right now: soccer, hockey, and basketball.
Was there any
and no college sports?
Did those finally play?
Oh yeah, let's.
Did they finally play?
We'll hit that headline in a minute, Brian. Let's talk about the MLS really quick. I'm going to pull that up. They had that tournament, right?
Yeah, they're finally in their tournament. I just don't know if they've actually.
Oh, they finished the tournament, and Portland did win 2-1. The MLS is back tournament, and Portland won 2-1. And then they had a game yesterday. Nashville beat Dallas 1-0.
And they play again. It looks like on the 6th.
On Sunday. Yeah, they're taking a 4-day break. It looks like 3-day, however you want to look at it.
So is this all over? Are they doing another season? What the fuck's
going on? No. The season's continuing. That was just the MLS's back tournament, like a bubble back tournament, you know. And the seasons, it's just like
like college basketball, the way they do like
exhibition
season tournaments and stuff.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And just to get us back.
I thought that was like their fucking playoffs. I forgot.
Yeah, because everyone's played like
they run during the summer anyway, so they didn't really fuck up their season that much.
These points count. They're up to 5 games played. In Miami, we're a solid 0-5 as our first year, so we're looking really good. But yeah, so that does it for our first quarter scoreboard. So usually we have a second quarter, which is important news and headlines, and our third quarter, which is major sports main event. So we're kind of going to hybrid them just a little bit. So right before that, I'm going to get into our halftime really quick, and just let you guys know again, this episode is powered by the home of We Don't Know Sports, which is the We Don't Know Network YouTube page.
Yep, and make sure you head over there, watch WDK Network. We have a bunch of different shows. We don't know games, we don't know movies. We are getting back at it starting next week with our other shows such as The Bone Zone and We Don't Know What Happened as well.
Of course. And please shoot your way over there after the show and click that subscribe button, please. We really appreciate it. Any subscription, any number helps us. And check us out on Instagram too. I'm very active over there. Whereas the team are very active on WDK_network on Instagram.
We're easy to find on YouTube. First name that pops up if you type in WDK Network. So
and with the underscore on our social medias, we're right there. We're active. We post stories. We're up to game with the social media, and that's how it works. So we're going to combine kind of our second quarter, third quarter. Before we get into the main event, is there any smaller important news headlines you guys want to talk about? Brian, I know you interjected earlier and said something about a signing. If you wanted to touch on that.
Oh, yeah. George Kittle just signed, I think.
Let's pull up the specs. You talk about that?
The largest tight end contract in history. Here, I got it right here.
Okay.
5 year, $75 million.
Correct. Yep.
So, my man's getting paid.
And then right after.
Highest paid tight end in NFL history. So, tight ends have become like so important within the last 10 years. Especially with spread offenses have gotten overtaken the entire game of football.
Once they saw what Gronk was able to do, it really turned into make sure you have a fucking powerhouse at that position.
Once Aaron Hernandez was really started killing him out there,
oh my God, straight killing him. And just to touch on that, right after George Kittle signed that contract, Travis Kelce hit up his agent and got shit done. He got a 4-year, $57 million extension through 2025, just to add on to that. So I think that does surpass Kittle right after.
Yeah.
But
and meanwhile, Dak Prescott still not getting paid. You selfish fuck. What an idiot.
Facts. Agree there. Agree there.
Fun little fact, just because you're an Inter Miami fan.
Yes, I was going to touch on that. You hit it up.
Yeah, Matuidi just got signed. He's still playing pretty good ball. Obviously it's an MLS thing where everyone comes over here.
Hey man, 33 is young in the MLS. I'll say that. 33 is young in the MLS.
Nowhere else is it, but it is in the
MLS. And dude, I heard David Silva thought about coming to Miami, which is fucking tight. David Silva plays for Man City. But yeah, if we could get one big signing like that, just the floodgates will open, I think. Just one big guy that could play top-notch in Bundesliga, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, League One, any of those places.
If I was an international player, I would never come to America to play.
Yeah, of course. No, I agree.
Especially in the climate that we're in right now.
And I wouldn't even say I'd want them. It's just that the money talks,
We will never get Ronaldo, and we will never get Messi, I don't think.
Oh no, and they're past their. Well, I wouldn't say they're past their prime, but they are. They're up there.
They come here.
For sure. And if we did it, it'd be later on. But neither of them are leaving. They're not coming to the MLS.
My issue with MLS is that they're not developing enough young talent here. It feels like they're losing young talent to overseas and bringing in old guys, to fucking make up for the.
Yeah, but soccer in America will never be as popular as football and basketball. It's just
of course.
If we don't have any football this year, then
it's just we don't have fucking culture, so we hang on to any culture that we can. While soccer is the biggest culture for all of the world.
Football is the closest thing to integral to American culture besides fast food,
because it started with us. Yeah,
and cop killings. So if you really want to talk about U.S. culture, football is that's our thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And we hold on to that. And just with our other highlights and headlines, don't want to go too much in detail. This is not a UFC show, but that's one of my favorite sports, so I like to highlight it. Derek Lewis knocked out Alexei Oleinik in 21 seconds last week. But what's coming up is what matters, is UFC 252. It's the rubber match, which if you guys don't know what that is, if our listeners, rubber match is just kind of like the third match or a fifth match in a trilogy usually, but it's the third match with Cormier and Stipe Miocic.
At each other.
Yeah, that's exactly
shot rubber bullets at each other for 5 rounds. First one that drops loses.
Oh my God, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Don't be a bitch.
And I'm not going to go over I'm not going to go over the whole fucking card, but everyone's looking forward to is the co-main event. Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera. Sugar Sean O'Malley's 12-0. He's a character. UFC's trying to market him.
He's got that one knockout. He's got that one knockout highlight where he's just kind of still and then just shoots a right jab completely out of nowhere and just completely light out.
Eddie Wineland. Yeah, that was back in July.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Absolutely
June, I think.
He
Yep,
literally-
obliterates him.
Every time I watch that clip, I'm amazed. Like, he just stops, takes a breath, shoots the jab, lights out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's a
he's
it's
impressive.
a yeah, it's a
Fun to
right
watch.
it's a right cross, and it hits Eddie Wineland right on the button, and it drops him. And yeah, he's 12-0 for a reason. But this is going to be the toughest competition of his career. Marlon Vera, he's Cheeto Vera. He's 15-6, not the best record, but he's a beast. He's a beast. He was on a hot streak before he got robbed his last fight. We won't talk about much of the rest of the card, but Junior Dos Santos
I think Romero just got hurt. He just got pulled from his card.
yeah, he was supposed to fight Uriah Hall, but he's always injured, always an issue. So they're no longer on the card. And Ian Kutalaba was supposed to fight. I can't remember the other guy's name, but Ian Kutalaba, there was a rematch. He got, I want to say diagnosed, fucking whatever, with COVID-19. And Jerizen Rosenstruck, who is a fucking phenomenal power puncher, is fighting JDS, Junior Dos Santos, so I'm excited about that. But that's pretty much this upcoming week. If you guys want to catch that at UFC 252 on Saturday at 10 p.m. So, anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, any more headlines before we get into the main event for the week?
Nah, I think we're at the main event now.
Cool, yeah, I think we're at the main event, and we have our guest Brian here. He's going to do a majority of our discussion today. We'll all have a little bit to add before we end it out, but the main event is just what we haven't talked about. Yeah, of course, I think we all are. Now it is my favorite sport, I would have to say. It's surpassed NFL for me within the last 2 years. That's the CFB, college football, NCAA. It's really parallel with this.
Jacob looks like he's ready to
He
tell
looks like
a black guy. He looks like he's ready to yell "All Lives Matter."
Dude,
right now.
oh my God. It looks like he's about to say fucking Trump 2020. Just look right into the fucking screen. That was pretty bad.
Behind me.
He looked like fucking Fred Durst for a second. But yeah, college football is really in parallel with the state of our country right now, and it's really depressing. That's the only adjective I can think. Yeah, man. So Brian, just start us off. Start us off.
As you guys were doing the halftime read, I was just scrolling Instagram, and it was the Elite College Football page. Which, if any of you don't follow Elite
the best page
on Instagram, please go follow them. They're awesome. But it was just like the caption was like, imagine you're not going to be able to hear any of these stadiums this year.
Yeah.
And it was scrolling through like the Ohio States and the Texas A&Ms and all the big stadiums, and it's just like, and I mean the video viewers can see like huge Buckeye fan have been my entire life. Like, to know that I'm not going to be able to hear the OHIO chant throughout the fourth biggest stadium in the country all year, literally like almost brings tears to my eyes. Like,
yeah,
it is not a year. Like, a year without college football, you might as well till Christmas. I would rather there be no Christmas.
100%. Fuck yes, 100%.
Fuck Christmas. Like, college football to me, and I think Jacob would agree, and I think Ethan just said the same thing, is the best sport.
Yes,
it is.
In America, it's the best
have
sport.
The passion,
dude.
The
yes,
traditions, the pure hatred. Yep. You have the pure love for the sport still. It's not all about business and money. Everything about college football. The
imperfections of college football. Yeah.
It's bringing a bunch of kids from all different
Mm-hmm.
corners of the country who have grown up differently, lived differently. They come together on a 53-man roster, and they become a family. It's like
they got to fight together.
It's like,
and they're trying to make it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
What is more pure about sports than college football? It's the pure love of the game. It's the every week matters. It's every week in college football matters. You can't take a week off. These NFL teams, they could take 2-3 weeks off, still make it to the playoffs. They're good to go. College football,
every game fucking matters.
You don't show up every fucking Saturday, your season's done.
Yeah,
because it's a wrap.
Even like the bigger names, like Ohio State, if they play Tulane for some reason later in the season,
or that random loss to Iowa every year.
Yeah,
if you take time off, like especially because the teams are getting closer and closer together now with your recruiting, you got to worry about the little guys still. You can't take those weeks off unless you're Alabama playing, bumfucked Egypt University. It's just
So I just want to state where my disdain, where my sadness and my disdain started.
Yeah, let's hear.
When they said we're gonna play conference only schedules, and their reasoning was so they could control the travel and control
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Look,
I mean,
Ohio and Iowa are nowhere close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
You still have to get on a plane.
Hundreds of miles.
You still have to get on a plane or bus, travel with 70 kids or 100 people with staff. Like, get the fuck out of here. So I hated the conference only schedules.
Acting like they're going to test every single one of them as they are they going to test them like 3 times on that trip?
Yeah.
Before you get on the plane, before you go to the hotel. Like, I mean, I just don't understand the concept.
It's all about money. It all comes down to money, liability, and it's just really fucking unfortunate because they're not going to make the money with the stands. They're not going to fill them up. Yeah. They're not going to be able to fatten their pockets, and it's really fucking sad. It's really sad. That's all they think about.
In the NCAA, the most maybe corrupt company next to EA Games.
EA is NCAA.
How are they allowing all of this money to just go down the drain? How?
Well, because Ethan has mentioned this before. That colleges make the majority of their money. The NCAA makes a lot of their money off
75%, give or take.
Yeah, whereas like the NFL, like they make most
25
of their TV deals. So
25% stands.
Yeah, so they're losing more money by not having people there than like the NFL will. And I think that's ultimately
whatever.
And I said this back from our first episode. The NFL is going to have a season. They're getting their money through packaged TV deals. They're going to. It doesn't fucking matter to them. College football. My heart wanted the season. I knew we weren't going to have a season. The money's not there. They're not going to profit from it. Why put the players out there? Because all they're thinking is potential liability issues. No money, potential liability.
Then as the NCAA, fucking adapt to society and create a streaming channel and start charging us all $25 to enjoy the college football season.
Dude, so no joke.
Why not?
Literally, whenever
I know people would spend $100. I would. I'd spend $100 easily.
I just threw a number out there.
Yeah, of course.
The EPL, I paid $60 per season to get the rest of the games on NBC Sports. Just because by buying NBC Sports Gold EPL package, it's $60. It's now being rolled into Peacock and shit.
And this also just shows
it's
like
normal to do this shit.
It also just shows like a crazy political divide in our country because look at the ACC, SEC, Big 12. Oh, we're playing football.
And Big 12.
We don't give a shit. We're playing football.
Yep.
Then you got Pac-12, Big 10. Cancel the whole shit.
Yep.
And what are you looking at there? You're looking at leftist and rightist.
Yep.
You're looking at the South and the North and the West. You got to kind of combine the
West. Yeah, the Midwest, Northwest, West. They're all Pac-12, Big 10. They're primarily blue.
Pac-12 is essentially California and Oregon, Washington.
Yes.
For the most part.
And then Arizona in there too.
Utah's there too.
Don't even say Oregon to me. Don't even say Oregon.
You don't get the
because
Oregon
I'm missing
game
out on Ohio State or
I know.
Oregon week fucking
Dude,
one.
I was so excited about that game. I know.
I mean, so I looked at, I'm a West Virginia fan, obviously, and we are doing, the Big 12 is doing a full conference schedule plus one non-conference game. So West Virginia has like Eastern Kentucky University on September 12th and the regular conference schedule. Like Brian said, why the fuck does it matter if you're doing the conference schedule if you're going to go ahead and do this one other game anyway?
Yeah,
it just
makes zero sense.
Can't get enough other people. Like, why can't you work with the conferences that are still playing?
I mean, this is my thought process. There are ways for it to be worked out.
What happens when Carolina and Florida State have to play? That's still a 4 to 5 state gap in which you have to travel these kids.
Brian, Maryland and Miami, they are both in the ACC. Are you kidding me? That could be further apart. Maryland and
Big Ten.
Oh, I'm thinking basketball. They're ACC. Are they Big Ten for football? That's right. They do get walloped.
Yeah,
Louisville, okay, Kentucky and Miami.
Yeah.
Kentucky and Miami. Like, fuck, dude. It's just Syracuse and Miami. Syracuse ACC in football. They are.
And now they're
like,
talking
what the
about
fuck?
Now we're talking about moving the season to fall. No.
Or spring.
Spring. Talk about playing.
Or spring.
February.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got kids.
There's no way.
Trevor
NFL.
Lawrence, Justin Fields.
Nope, won't happen.
That kid from Penn State, that linebacker from Penn State.
Micah Parsons.
These kids are not. Denzel Ward, the top-rated corner at Ohio State this year.
Yeah.
You got these kids that are not going to wait till fucking spring to get hurt, to fuck up their first round draft.
They're
All
not.
they're going to do is they're going to drop out of school and start training full-time for the NFL. If they have
There's rumors right now that Justin
Fields
is trying to transfer.
Yeah, I've heard that. Imagine him in the SEC again. Fuck.
I mean, and again, like that's players like
they've already been granted another year.
That came out via Elite College Football that Brian plugged earlier. Best page for college football. I've been following them for years. But yeah, and that's the right thing to do. NCAA did the right thing. But what it comes down to, folks, our listeners, what it comes down to, there are ways to make this season happen. They plugged the numbers. It was not profitable enough for them to make the money for the money there in order to do it. Because Jacob brought our great point the last show or two. I don't remember when it was. They could pick a campus that is not bringing students back, house the whole conference there in a whole university with plenty of rooms to spare, practice there, use the whole
that home field in a bubble.
A whole conference, dude, could fit in one or two universities. That's it. And but it's not.
I understand why you can't do a bubble system for college football. It's still college football. These kids are still in school.
Yeah,
you can't isolate these children.
What they would
like a professional sport because they don't have the licensures, things like that.
Like there are reasons why.
I get it.
Yeah,
but if you look at the way these kids are saying, we want to play, do whatever it takes to let us play, I think they'd be willing to go forward with it. I mean, and again, that's selfish on our part. You know, these guys, are putting themselves in harm's way. Let's make that very clear that, obviously we want, if we get it done, we want it to be done safely or as safe as possible. But
this is why you sign a waiver.
Exactly.
Yes.
These kids,
and that's what they're saying, right?
They want to participate.
Going home is more dangerous than it is to be.
And Trevor made that argument. Y'all saw Elite College Football posted that as well. Trevor made the argument that it could be more problematic for them not to play football because at least they're in a controlled environment somewut.
I'm also in agreement with a lot of college players that maybe Trevor Lawrence wasn't the best person to.
Exactly. Yep, and I saw that as well. Because what does Trevor Lawrence know?
You're a rich white kid. Let's just calm it down.
In Clemson, yeah.
It's like
a lot of them said that.
Came out and said, "Oh, you don't want to do this." It's like,
I mean, it goes with everything, though. Look at him; they're making him, this poster boy, which he does have the stats to pick it up, but he doesn't speak for the impoverished people who are really at harm's way, like black communities who don't get the funds and don't get the medical care that white people do.
A lot of reports that I've read, it's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, Clemson quarterback, Ohio State quarterback. They've been talking very closely. Like they've been organizing all these players and getting the union together. So for the two best quarterbacks in college football, who would have seen each other again in the national championship this year,
I agree.
I promise.
Oh, dude, yeah, because LSU is just out of the picture. Ohio State, Clemson, we're the best to make it. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh no, I was just saying, just in regards to like the Big Ten. Apparently, Nebraska is one of the no votes.
And fuck Nebraska.
They
can kick fucking rocks.
Nebraska was saying like they were against closing the season. They wanted to play.
No, but then they were also talking about leaving the Big Ten. Like
they are.
What happened was because they were threatening to go ahead and play anyway somewhere else, and the Big Ten commissioner had to come out and say, if you do that, then you're officially out. Which they were Big 12 to begin with.
Get
so
Nebraska,
they belong in a Big 12 team.
Yeah, they're a Big
12
team.
Agree.
Maryland and Rutgers the fuck out of my conference.
Right? Yeah, because Big 10 is the second best conference in NCAA.
Big 10 did a weird thing where they picked up a bunch of teams that really didn't have a whole lot of business being there.
No, I can tell you why.
It's academics usually, isn't it?
It's academics, yeah. The Big 10 is considered an academically superior.
I think
that A class of academics.
They should have picked up Pitt and WVU, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Brian said Rutgers, Maryland.
Yeah, academically, West Virginia and Pitt are not the same level as Rutgers.
Notre Dame should have been in the Big Ten for the last 20 years.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Sure.
I agree.
And they're cowards for not joining.
No sense.
Yeah, Notre Dame is a Big Ten team easily. They'd be up there with Iowa, Ohio State every year.
Yeah.
But
they have their own schedule because they have so many rivalries from back.
Because they're cowards. That's why.
Yes.
Nebraska is such a Big 12 team. They belong in the Big 12.
Two of their rival games are Michigan and Michigan State. Why the fuck wouldn't you join the Big Ten?
Because they also have rivalries with USC.
Okay, those are your non-conference games. You want to prove that you're independent, you're the best, then
go have a non-conference
games and then play a Big Ten schedule.
Yeah.
Here a little bit. Sorry.
Like any NCAA fantasy, like any NCAA franchise mode,
Jacob, you there?
A real player would do.
Yeah. Like you just fucking okay. Well, first of all, we're gonna get fucking FCS East and FCS West off the schedule. Yeah. We're gonna put in number 1 and number 2.
I'm gonna play with ECU, and I'm putting Ohio State, Alabama, USC,
bangers,
all of those as my non-conference games.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do them both away.
So I mean, to wrap it up, we could talk about this thing forever. It's
truly.
We're not getting college football.
Yeah. Obviously, we want it to happen, but we also are aware that safety is the main concern too.
Yeah.
But
if the kids and the staff want to play, let the kids fucking play.
Yeah.
They know what they signed up. They're signing up to literally have brain damage for the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah, they're doing it.
All
Absolutely.
right?
that is another thing that like gets me about this. It's like
What
are
I
you not facing already?
What I want to do real quick is right before we close it out, I want us all to have our piece. I want to have one big closing statement. Take what you need. Jacob, you go first. Brian, then me. Let's just all go and say our closing statements, our feelings, because we're all right now. I want to say this: we're all hyper, we're all passionate about this, and we're all like going back and forth. Let's have our piece. No interruptions. Jacob, you go first. Say your feelings, and then pass it on.
Yeah. Essentially, I feel like it makes no sense to have half the conferences play and half of them not. Whenever the Big Ten came out and said that they didn't want to, the Pac-12 finally felt comfortable enough to come out and say they didn't want to either. I think it's a domino effect, whereas, like Brian mentioned earlier, kind of a political dichotomy going on where they feel like they have to, kind of not pander, I guess, but, work towards what their fan base would be more comfortable with. But with other conferences going to the winter or the spring season, there's no way that we're going to get a consensus number one national champion this year. It's just not possible.
No.
We're going to get two different champions, and there's no way you can get these kids to play a playoff later after, Big 12 and SEC have been out of shape for, 4 months, 5 months. It's just not going to happen. So ultimately, it's going to be the most awkward football season we've ever watched, and it's going to be the most fun 2021 season because the preseason polls are going to be fucking ridiculous. I'm just going to leave it there.
All right, Brian, take it away.
Man, I'm sad that we're not getting college football. Like, I'm legitimately upset about it. Like, I'm sad. I think this is a huge fault of the NCAA for back in March when this shit popped off. Y'all should have had a contingency plan in place to let us have a fall season, and you failed. You failed miserably. Mm-hmm. And because of that, you are stripping away 8 months of some of people's favorite time of the year. You will never find a more passionate fan base about anything than college football. You just won't do it. So to strip millions of Americans away from that, to strip thousands of kids away from a season in which this is all they prepare for, this is what their life is, and for these kids to be begging for you to let us play. That's all we want to do is play. We understand the risks. We want to be as safe as possible, but we just want to play football. To strip that away from thousands of kids and to strip that away from millions of people who absolutely love and adore the sport, I think is completely unfair. And I feel so bad for the seniors, incoming NFL guys. I feel for them. My heart breaks for them because a lot of the times you need this senior year. Joe Burrow went from a 6th-round pick to a 1st-round pick in one season. And that is heartbreaking to me that other stars, other kids won't get that chance. So, go Bucks, OH. I can't wait for 2021. I'm not even excited about spring football because I'm not going to see a Justin Fields led Ohio State team, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, thank you guys for your statements. Like, I just don't. It's hard for me to compartmentalize like all my emotions regarding it because like I don't like when people use depressing as an adjective, but I think it really applies here because a lot of people use this as an escape from reality, and I know I do. It's a very awesome escape for me, and I'm a very passionate, emotional person. Like I think a lot with my emotions and how I feel, and I can channel that into watching college football. And I grew up on the NFL. That's where my passion lied. But as an adult, I've really got away. I don't want to hit on everything you guys said, Brian and Jacob, you guys said earlier, of why college football is so amazing, because I agree wholeheartedly with that, and that's why I love college football for those same reasons. But just to think to not have that to look forward to after a long work week, after a lot of stress and anxiety Monday through Friday, not waking up on, like it literally makes me want to cry to not wake up on Saturday morning.
There's no college game day. I didn't even think about that. Just oh my God, there's no college game day.
No Lee Corso, no Kirk Herbstreit. And
fuck Lee Corso, but
fuck Lee Corso, but like fuck him, and I still want him on my TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's really unfortunate. And I'm trying to this year. I know it's cheesy. Every negative thing, I'm trying to find one silver lining, just trying to pick it out. I am not going to appreciate anything like I'm going to appreciate 2021 college football. Nothing is going to matter more to me than next fucking season if everything's gone away. And just before we close it out, what I want to say, one last thing, is how royally the NCAA fucked this up, because people want to just to take it away from sports just for a second, to bash Walt Disney World, right? And that's very near and dear to my heart. You guys know that. Because they reopened. People are blasting them, all these things. Disney never waited to reopen until the pandemic was gone. They closed shop. They reconvened. They figured out how the fuck to operate while a pandemic is going on, which is what the NCAA should have done. They should have created a plan to figure out how they could correctly maneuver and operate while a pandemic was going on. They just miraculously thought this was going to go away because people didn't want to wear masks. They didn't want to socially distance. They didn't want to suffer, right? And this is what we're dealt with now. And I don't want to say, oh, this is what you get, because I fucking hate it, because I'm being affected. We're being affected by it, right? It shouldn't be, oh, I told you so. It should be, look, we fucked up. Let's not do this so we get a fucking 2021 season. I don't want some sort of 2020 spring shit. I don't want a Maction fucking whatever false sport we can get, because I care about bragging rights. I don't want to think that, oh, you know, the 2021 or 2020, national championship doesn't matter. You know, I just scrap it, and like, I don't want to conjure up anything. You fucked it up. The past is the past. There's nothing we can do about it anymore. And it's just depressing. We'll move on. I'll be sad about it. 2021 will get here. We'll be almost 30 years old, and I'm gonna fucking enjoy next season. That's it.
30 years old.
Yeah.
I'll be fucking 29.
College football season.
In your 20s.
20-year-old.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 29 in December, so I'll be 29 and 30 at the end. I'll be 30 when the 2021 national championship game is played. So it's fucking sad. I mean, we're leaving our 20s and we don't get a college football season. And yeah, people can say you're whining about all these things, but it means something to us.
We get it.
Yeah, but it's a part of our lives. Like, I wouldn't be me. And I know Brian wouldn't be Brian because he's loved college football longer than I have. You know, I've loved NFL, and I know what that would mean, right, to not have that. But college football is a newfound identity for me. The last 2 years, I'm a part of another college football podcast. I'm on their Patreon. We talk every single day, and they've really brought me into that world. And just to not have that is heartbreaking. That's it.
And I will say the only thing that could possibly make up for it, Brian mentioned them earlier, is if EA Sports somehow manages to get us NCAA football 2021 in lieu of college football this season.
God, that would make up for a little bit.
It would make up a little bit.
If they said, guys, since you didn't have college season, here's NCAA 2021.
Yeah. And put Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence on the cover.
Oh, dude, like back to back, or that picture we posted on our social media Instagram page. If you go check it out, that cool one with like shaking hands, that would be fucking sick. But yeah, fellas, I think that's gonna do it for the day. We're gonna have a little bit closing statements. Before we end up, guys, you guys have any other thoughts that you want to hit on before we end the show?
Not really.
Nah, man, I'm just gonna go fucking drink the fall season away. Every Saturday, I'm just going to heavily.
I'm just gonna be a degenerate.
Maybe I'll watch last season and just get so hyped that Ohio
Dude, just pretend, just put on every
and then
game.
Somehow the refs fuck us in the playoffs. Maybe I'll just relive that because that's what I love to relive.
What you could do, watch seasons from before you became a fan. Like, go back and like watch like the 85 seasons or something like that. Like, before you knew what the fuck was going on. Like, back when West Virginia.
I should go watch like all of Eddie George's seasons.
Oh, that's good.
Oh my, yeah,
seasons.
That's a good move.
Yeah.
What was that 90?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know the off the top of my head. That sounds early though.
He went to the Super Bowl in 2001 with the Titans, right? 2000.
Yeah, so I guess it was closer. It was a little bit further up in.
And he was the one that was he the one running the football in the Rams Super Bowl where they like went off the celebrations and they got tackled early? Was that Eddie George? Y'all remember that Super Bowl I was talking about? Rams Titans?
Yeah, and he tried to stretch.
It was Super Bowl 34, 1 yard short, and they threw off the fireworks like he made it.
It was that season though. He was on the team that season for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything before 2005 looks like it's from.
Oh, it was Titans doing that.
You know what I mean? So it's hard for me.
It was against the Rams. It was the Titans versus the Rams, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
but yeah, guys,
let's digress. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to be a degenerate and spend all my money on betting NFL games, put some sort of purpose into something else. I'm just going to cherish sports a little bit more in other areas. It's not going to make up for it, but that's all we can do. And we'll prepare and get you guys ready on our show. No other podcast is going to be ready for college football as we will. So please stay tuned with us on that, guys. And that's it. Please, like we've said all throughout in the beginning, a pre-show, halftime, and now the end of the game, end of the show. Check out our socials, WDK_network. Go to YouTube, WDK Network. Please communicate with us, intervene with us, talk with us, give us thoughts. Hit us up anywhere. We'll have stories. We'll get in communication with you guys. So just hit us up next time. Until then, we are out.
Yep. And thanks for shooting your shot, guys. Always remember. Oh, I fucked it up. Anyway, Eddie George played in 1995.
Nice. Always remember, shoot your shot, preferably in my ass.
I read that.
Peace.
As fuck.
Later, yo.
I hate my.